Hey everyone, today I'm going to be going over how to read a food label, and you're going to need to know how to do this for your assignment. So first I'm going to walk you through some stuff you should know, and then we're going to practice, and then you're going to try to get the correct answers on your assignment. So what you should look for, first of all, you should always start here, looking at the serving size and servings per container. Almost every time I'm going to ask you, what is a serving size? So up here where it says serving size, you could say 1 cup, or you could say 228 grams. I'm going to ask you how many servings are there in the container, servings per container, whatever number is here. So this would be 2. Then you're going to check the calories. So the amount of calories listed is for 1 serving. So there's 250 calories in 1 cup of whatever this macaroni and cheese. There's 2 servings per container. So if I asked you how many calories are there in the entire container, you would take 250 calories and multiply that by the servings per container. Oops. You're going to want to limit these nutrients, so fat, cholesterol, and sodium, and get a lot of these nutrients, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Over here, we have the 5-20 rule, and so I'm going to explain that in a little bit. Daily value, okay? The daily value are these percentages, okay? And it's a guide to the nutrients in 1 serving of food. For example, if the label lists 15% calcium, it means that 1 serving provides 15% of the calcium you need each day. So, in this case, in 1 serving, this food provides 2% of the daily value of vitamin C. So, you're going to have to get 98% of the daily value of vitamin C from another food source. Serving size is the recommended amount that you eat. And we're going to watch this video quick, and you'll see that serving size is not always what people usually eat. Gordon Ramsay, he's hilarious. All right, skipping the ad. All right, so we'll stop there. So just be aware that sometimes companies will make a serving size really small to make it appear healthier for people that don't know how to read a food label. So I would write this down, okay? If a food has 5% or less daily value, that's the percentage that's on the far right of the food label, then it is a poor source of the nutrient. This can be a good or bad thing. So the 5-20 rule is only saying, is there a lot of the nutrient or a little of the nutrient? So if a food has 5% or less, then it's a bad source. If a food has 20% or more of the daily value, then it is a good source. And again, this could be a good or bad thing. So we know that vitamin A is good for you, right? So if a food has 2% daily value of vitamin A, it's not a good source because it's less than 5%. If a food has 40% saturated fat, remember saturated fat is the unhealthy fat, right? Then it is a good source because it's over 20%, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's good for you. So remember, the 5-20 rule has nothing to do whether the food is healthy or not. It has everything to do with, is there a little or a lot of the nutrient? So below 5%, bad source of the nutrient. Over 20%, good source of the nutrient. If it's between 5% and 20, it's an okay source. Ingredients list. So when I ask you what's the main ingredient, it's going to be the first ingredient listed after the ingredients word on the ingredients label. So if I say, what are the 3 main ingredients in this product? You'd say water, sugar, and corn syrup. Note that there's a lot of different ingredients, and this is where you would look if you had an allergy to something, like possibly some people are allergic to like dyes in food. You would want to look in the ingredients label to see if it contains any. Be aware of these added sweeteners in your food: sugar, corn syrup, and high fructose corn syrup. This is Heinz ketchup, and you'll find high fructose corn syrup and corn syrup in here. Corn syrup and high fructose corn syrup is just sugar basically from corn. All right, so looking at this food label for Fiber One cereal, if I asked you what the serving size is, you could go up here to serving size and see there's a serving size is 1/2 a cup. I would ask you then how many servings are in the container. So I would go up here, servings per container, about 15. Calories in one serving. Calories in one serving without milk is 60. Calories in one serving with milk is 100. Now, if I asked you how many calories are there in 3 servings with milk, you would take the amount of calories with milk and multiply it by 3 for the 3 servings. Fat. If I asked you how many grams of fat are in one serving, you would tell me 1 gram. If I asked you what is the daily value of total fat, you would say 1%. Is this a good source of fat? No, because it's less than 5% according to the 520 rule. Go down, we'll pick protein. How many grams of protein in one serving? Be 2 grams. How many grams of protein in 3 servings? We'd take 2 grams times 3, it would be 6. If I asked you how many grams of protein are in the entire container, you would say 2 grams times 15. So in this entire box of cereal, there's 30 grams of protein. Okay, going on to here. This is a pint of ice cream. Okay, serving size, okay, is 1/2 cup. Servings per container, see this here, that's 4. Calories in one serving, 300. Calories in 2 servings, we take 300 times 2 is 600 calories. Calories in the entire container, we take 300 times 4, which is 1,200. If I asked you how many grams of saturated fat are in this product, you'd tell me 10 grams. But if I asked you the daily value, remember that's a percentage, what is the daily value of saturated fat? You would tell me 50%. Okay, is this a good source? Yes. Why? It's over 20% according to that 520 rule. Let's do the same thing for fiber. What is the daily value of fiber for one serving? 0%. Is that a good source? No, because it's less than 5 according to the 520 rule. All right. So now we are going to look at what your assignment will look like. It's going to look a little bit different. This is what your assignment looks like. So you are going to be reading the food label based on Bunny Powdered Donuts and answering these questions, okay? I am going to do the exact same. It's like pretty much the exact same questions, but with the different food label. So I'm going to go over this quickly, and then I'll let you get going. So how many pizza rolls are in one serving? Serving size 6 rolls. So I'm going to write 6 pizza rolls here. How many servings are there in the container? I look up here where it says servings per container. It's 2.5. 2.5 servings. What is the daily value? So I know I'm looking for a percentage of saturated fat for one serving. Find saturated fat right here. Go all the way over. It's 11%. Do you think this is a good source of saturated fat? I would say it's an okay source. Why? It is above 5% and less than 20%. Okay. How many grams of protein are there in 2 servings? So I'm going to find protein. There's 7 grams. Multiply it by 2 because 2 servings. So there's 14 grams of protein. If you ate the entire bag, how many calories would you be consuming? So I'm going to take 210 calories. multiply that by the 2.5 servings. So 210 times 2.5. Gonna have to get my calculator out here because not a math whiz. 210 times 2.5. It's 525 calories in the whole container. Explain the 520 rule. Okay, if a food has 5% or less daily value, it is a bad source. If a food has 20% or more daily value, it is a good source, meaning there's a lot of that product. So this is what you're going to do on this assignment. You get 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here. This one's worth 2. This one's worth 2. The rest are worth 1. If you have any questions, make sure you ask me. Otherwise, that is how you read a food label.